Context windows for LLMs are getting longer and longer, but how useful are they? If you send a million tokens, how much comprehension is actually going on? And are those needle and haystack experiments that the model providers talk about and tout, how actually realistic is that? We're going to look at how you can run your own needle and haystack experiments very quickly. And then we'll also look at system general data around LLM usage along context window and give you some kind of grounding research-backed info about how useful they actually are and how much you can rely on them. So we're going to do all of this experimenting in PromptHub. So we're going to look at a couple of different things here. So firstly, we are going to set up a evaluation and a prompt to do this testing in. So I'll show you my prompt first. So this is a needle and a haystack thing. It's pretty, I think a little bit silly, but basically, here's my prompt. I'm saying there's one piece of info wrong in one of these versions of the Great Gatsby below. So a needle inside of a needle, which version it is and what is wrong. And then I have the version 1 of the Great Gatsby, version 2, version 3. These are variables, and it gets replaced with the Great Gatsby. This one has a needle that says Dan likes to surf in Portugal. These two don't. These are just the full Great Gatsbys. The only difference here is that one instance I injected. And so what we're going to do is we don't want to have to be able to comb through the output ourselves, so we'll have an evaluator run that will basically look at the output and see if the model got it right. So we know the answer should be it's in the second version. The needle basically is that Dan likes to surf in Portugal. So coming over to evaluations here, we will go to our needle and haystack. I just made this a couple minutes ago. And I'm basically just going to do a string comparison, and I'm going to look that the output contains Portugal. That's like pretty directionally correct. It would be really surprising if the output from the LLM contained Portugal and they weren't talking about the needle. And we will run this, and it's pretty hefty. It's 200 tokens, 200K, so not millions, but pretty large. And we'll say let's run this 3 times, and I think we have the evaluation's already checked. And which model we're going to use? Flash thinking. Why not? So we'll let that run. And so while that's running, a couple things to note. You can access this prompt. So we'll have all like these variables pre-configured for you. Models overloaded. This is the problem with using free models. You'll get overloaded more easily. But basically, you can get these prompts into your library. Just search needle in the community. Then the nice thing is like it's already pre-configured and things along those lines. All right, and well, let's see here. Cool. This last one failed because of the overload. So we can see the output. It says version 2, and then it says, where is it? Yeah, it's in chapter 3. I'll give a lot of context. There is an additional line in version 2, Dan surfs in Portugal. So that's correct. This one much more concise. Version 2, Dan surfs in Portugal. What was really cool there is how that was crazy fast, actually. That was 200,000 tokens it just processed. That happened like really quickly. So you can run your own that way, but if you don't want to burn tokens, I'll show you what it looked like when I did it for the proprietary models. So O3 Mini, admittedly, so the statistics people will definitely come for me here. The sample size on these things are like 10, so it's small. But 0% pass rate means it failed every single time, and it would find the wrong needle. The mistake is version 2. Oh yeah, this one trips it up. This must have just been some way Fitzgerald wanted to write this, or this like the slang of whoever was saying this, but Oxford instead of Oxford tripped up the models. O3 Mini, high reasoning, 0%. I guess we're also tracking, in PromptHub in here, we'll track tokens in time. 434 seconds. So that's like quite long. It's like what, 8 minutes? Something like that. More than that. O3 Mini yep. Faster. More tokens, more costs, but still 0%. O1, it did do a lot better, so the larger model, but it was crazy expensive. It was $2 just to run it for one single entry. So I ran this 10 times, so it's, that was like almost $30. So I hope you guys enjoy this. But did well. Claude 3 Sonnet, 0% pass rate. Right needle, wrong placement. which was weird. It was able to pick up the dance surfs in Portugal, but it wasn't able to correctly identify that that was in the second version, not the first version of The Great Gatsby. 18 seconds, so much faster. You can see how like different the latencies are here. We're talking about 400 seconds before for O3 Mini, a small model, plus 40 cents per run for 200,000 tokens. And then the real winners here. So Gemini 2.0, Pro experimental, 15 seconds, 100% pass rate. Just awesome. Really, really great. 0 because it's experimental, 15 seconds, crazy stuff. Flash thinking, which is also one we just did, again, 100% pass rate, 0 in 6 seconds. So we're talking about 400 seconds before, down to 6 seconds for a Gemini model. And this doesn't even include Gemini 2.5 Pro, which we're adding support for. I guess it'll be pretty similar to these, but this is insanely fast. Like, I can't comprehend that. So you have all the tools to be able to do that. One additional thing that I thought was interesting was something I stumbled upon from this company, Fiction.live. And so instead of a needle in a haystack, say, go find the specific thing, they tested something for comprehension. Basically, they have a bunch of data about like interesting stories, and like they have a bunch of prompts that they run against those stories for the model. They give an example here. I'm conducting an LLM comprehension test. I'm going to give you a story at the end you're going to answer a question about. So then there's a story. This is a small one. This is a 1K. Let me make myself a little smaller. Finish a sentence. What names would Jerome list? Give me a list of names only. So it requires understanding of the text versus just trying to find a specific thing. Our needle and haystack things is the model doesn't know what to find, so it's not like it's looking for a specific thing, but it's looking for a specific issue versus here it's more comprehension related. And they have some interesting takeaways here, but we can just kind of peruse the data here too. So O1 does great. These are context levels. We can only go up to 120, but hey, I mean, this is really, really awesome stuff still either way. O1 does great. Claude Sonnet 3.7 thinking does really well as well. So 100's pretty high out, but by far the best one, Gemini 2.5 Pro, which I've been talking a lot about, I've been using a lot, and is really crazy. We're talking about 90% of a score here, which is, you can just judge the relative to the other ones at 120K tokens, which is crazy. R1 outperforms O3 Mini, 4.5 is best on reasoning. Yeah, Gemini's a soda. They're up at 3.7 over 3.5, some other stuff related to the models. So when you see, stuff like this in model releases, this is from like Llama 4 and Llama Scout, don't always believe it. So if we come back over here, Llama models do like really poorly across the board. So you can see they just like do not perform well up in like whatever this is, like 90K, 32K. Wow, that's a small context to be messing around with. So to be promoting a like 10 million token context window and be performing this well or poorly at 32K is like, yeah, interesting, I would say. So these guys are doing great stuff. We'll link to them below. And yeah, run your own tests. Don't just believe what the models show here. You can do it through all the stuff we looked at above. We'll have links and stuff for everything that you need to get started. But yeah, run your own test, come to your own conclusions. And if you find anything interesting, comment it below. Share it in Prompt Hub if you're running any cool like needle and haystack prompts that you want to share with the community. And I will see you next time.